Hello everyone, I am Pie Patch and welcome back to Our Life, Beginnings and Always. We're continuing on now with continue. I tried to click it, it didn't work. Well, we're continuing on with our acts here. It's been a little bit since I last played because I was trying to get through a good chunk of Inscription, so I'm keen to get back to something that's just nice and calm and chill and happy. But we're moving on to errands now. So, ooh. Oh, those pumpkins look so nice. Whoa, pretty. Anyway, let's just get going. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your mums liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realised it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Hey dude! I don't know why, but I'm always startled when I see you. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables never seemed so highbrow. Yep. Oh, seriously, they don't mess around with their products. Isn't it exciting? They look old and it's upsetting. Oh, Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. Hi. Hey you. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbours had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The 3 parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never changed, and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. Oh, you're excited to check things out. You thought this trip might be fun. You shrugged, feeling indirect. You felt uncomfortable. You were in a bad mood. This trip was wasting your time. I think it might be fun. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. You were curious what hidden gems were waiting for you to discover among them. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Before your mums responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yeah, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day. I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market. Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your mum surprised. No one had considered that an option, but your mum flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Though it's a little unfair that there are 4 Piework family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds. That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. He wasn't sure where to look or what to say. That was not a problem his son had. Very blunt, Cove. I don't like that idea. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then how big are these markets? Bloody hell. And then we'll have something to talk about at the end of it. After the additional nudging, Cove nodded with a sigh. He realized this wasn't an argument he was going to win. Alright. I don't get the point, but I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Patch and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Hey, I didn't agree to anything. Yeah, let's go. Can I be the one to go with the Holdens instead? You stayed silent. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I don't need to be with Cove all the time. Yeah, let's go. Delighted, Ma hooked an arm around you in a little side hug. You grinned. Thank you, Patch. Taking the lead, Mum walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who was still eyeing her confusedly. Yeah, it is a little, I feel like something's going on. Come on, boys, we're heading out. Sure. Okay. Cove looked at you softly and found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant. Bye. Bye. Cove lightly took one of your hands in his and gave it a small squeeze. He dipped his face forward, wanting to kiss farewell. when instead he stopped midway, his whole... Oh, is something wrong? Oh, wait, what? What is happening? He jerked his gaze back at your mum, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go. What? Oh, leave him alone. Come on, he's fine. Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more. I mean, I guess that's probably true. The two of you can snuggle and make out as much as you want later. We have important shopping to do now. Wow, Mom, jeez. Aghast. Cove gasped at what he felt was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of the eyes. You don't need to literally pull me away from Patch. I'm not that clingy. Well... Mom sniggered with a shake of her head. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Ma. She wouldn't meet his eye as she whistled innocently. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holt didn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think he was that needy. Finally, he dared to face you with wide, pleading eyes. Hey, don't make fun of him. Who said you're allowed to say things like that to him? Cove is totally capable of being independent when he wants to be. There's nothing wrong with being attached. It's nice. Oh, come on, Cove. You know how it is. Silently, you stare back at him. Don't make fun of him. Don't make fun of him. Angry, you snapped louder than you meant, and it was met with several surprised looks, but you kept a stern gaze fixed on them. Cove, meanwhile, beamed at having your support. Aww. Without thinking, Cove took another step forward, feeling drawn to you. Also again, Mom grabbed the back of his shirt. She tried suppressing her laughter, but a few chuckles escaped. Actions speak louder than words. Cove's mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. He was newly embarrassed all over again. Well, yeah. So what? That admission had Liz, your mums, and Dad bursting into laughter. Oh, buddy. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. I'll see you soon. For a moment you weren't sure if Cove heard you over the noise of the market, but then he nodded. You smiled softly, watching him get over his embarrassment and relax a bit. See you in a few hours. Take care of yourselves. How are we really separating for hours? Okay, I guess they are really big markets. At that, Mum picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Grinning, Ma set them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Despite the change in plans, you were still glad to be there. You felt like the change in plans was a good idea. You felt unsure about it. You had been happy, but now you're annoyed. That definitely put a damper on your good mood. I think it's still nice. I still enjoy hanging out with Ma and Liz. It wasn't what you'd imagined, but that didn't matter. There was a whole market to explore, and you couldn't wait to find some good stuff. When they were gone, Ma cheerily turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her hips. Do you think there'll be any nice... For some reason I interpreted Ginger as someone with ginger hair, and I'm like, Mum? What? Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded in agreement, keen to truly get the trip going. Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed browsing. There were only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing, pointing out various things to Ma and Liz, and vice versa. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave you a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left like the two of you responsibly did. Just need a pee? Yes, Liz, I'll have to visit the ladies' room now. This is a weird conversation. Should we wait here? Should Liz and I go on without you? Or should we all go with you? Should we wait here? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently brushed your comment away. There's no need to worry about me for this or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. Though, actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you come, please, Lizzie? You and your sister had to share a look over that. Why do that of all things? Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour, and you're the parent here. Ma giggled. What is happening? This feels weird. This feels weird to me? Am I just misreading things, or is it weird? Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Patch will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on their own. This makes good practice. I'm 18. I can go to the markets by myself, parent. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz's and pulled her along. Have fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me, all right. Bye. Wait, you waved. You tried following after them. You stood there stunned. I guess I'll wave. Dumbstruck, you gave a small wave as they waded into the crowd. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing rapidly became you, entirely on your own. You were overwhelmed. You thought, screw 'em. You were done with this whole trip. You felt great being left on your own. You thought Ma was being ridiculous, but you didn't really mind. You didn't know what to think. Yeah, she is being a bit weird. It depends on the situation. I can get a bit overwhelmed just suddenly being left on my own. No, sorry. I can be overwhelmed in crowds, but being by myself, as long as I've got my headphones, I'm usually pretty content. But whatever. You weren't sure what the ulterior motives Ma had for pulling this, but that was far down on your priority list at that moment. You were starting to feel happy at the idea of doing things at your own pace. Yeah, I love exploring markets and stuff. I love going to secondhand shops. Like all antique places that you can just kind of wander through for ages, trying to find all cool little bits and bobs. I love that kind of thing. So this, I actually wouldn't mind this. You walked off on your own. You found a place to sit. I'll just wander, I think, for the moment. I mean, he's with his own people, and that's okay. We can have some time apart. That's fine. Resigned to your fate, you picked up where you left off, browsing the stalls. One hooked your attention. Ooh! While most stores were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. Ooh! There were even vegan versions of every option. Wow! Chocolate white peppermint. That one looks nice, but maybe if it was strawberry. I don't really like peppermint. Red velvet could be nice. White chocolate. Cookies and cream. Cookies and cream. I love cookies and cream. I had cookies and cream ice cream right before this. You got closer. Oh, yeah, no, I'll have a look. You sidestepped past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a wide spread, dozens and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. The owner smiled and approached you to explain their shop. Please do. Okay, what kind of voice is this? The fudge is sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all the same, all different, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy any today? Why is this the voice? I don't know. It's whatever. You didn't want to get any. You want to get yourself a box. You want to get a box to share for. Yeah. Let's get a box to share with everyone. The whole selection was too good not to share. Do I get to pick which ones? You want to get Well, I can have those. We can get something for Cove later. Just one to share would be nice. Yeah, I could use some fudge. I'm glad you came to the right place then. For the group, you picked, whoa, cookies and cream, and white chocolate, and caramel swirl, and one more. See, I'm not usually a peanut butter person, but there is this ice cream I have at a local gelato place, which is chocolate peanut butter cookie dough, and it is really good, so I'm gonna go with this one. The shop owner carefully put your order together. Everyone else was definitely going to be happy with when you regrouped later. You paid, and there was no stopping the large grin going all across of your face. Pivoting on your heels, you wove your way back to the center of the path. You pondered for a moment what you should do now. None of the stalls were catching your eye. What did grab your attention, however, was a head. Oh my god, what is... I can't read. What did grab your attention, however, was a head of familiar seafoam hair sticking out above the crowd. You knew instantly that it was Cove. Hey dude. He hadn't noticed you yet, but he was walking in your direction. He held a couple bags tightly in his hand. Strangely, you couldn't spot your mum or his dad anywhere. You let him go. I'll call out to him if I see him, yeah. Standing firm, you cupped your hands around your mouth for added projection. You took a deep breath. Cove Holden, get your butt over here. He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened at the sight, his goofy smile. Patch! He weaved through passerbys awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, nearly stumbling more than once. Hey dude, it only took a moment for him to I can't breathe. It was undeniable that he was shopping by himself. You stared at him confused. Did you ditch your group? Cove crossed his arms defiantly, the bags twisting in front of him. Your mum took my dad and I ended up alone. Why are you by yourself? Ma and Liz abandoned me too. What? I can't believe this happened to both of us. They planned it. They had to. But I don't know why. Are they pranking us? I don't know either. And you meant it. You couldn't fathom what your mums were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind. Well... His change in tone caught your attention. You watched his eyes start to twinkle with mischief as his mouth pulled into a cheeky smile. Wow. Horny on Main Cove. You know, it is technically later, and your mum isn't around this time. You chuckled, knowing exactly what he was implying. That incident was already replaying in your head. You hugged him, you kissed him, bashfully you nodded, flustered, you told him not right now. I don't really feel... Yeah, yeah, okay. You stepped closer, placing a hand on his upper arm. Cove beamed and leaned in. It was quick. Too quick. But you could feel him smile through it. When you both did part, Cove chuckled affectionately. I'm glad it's later. Me too. So, His gaze wandered off as if one of your parents might simply appear if he kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. Do you want to forget about whatever's happening and go shopping together? Definitely, you shrugged. Happily, you nodded. Yeah, sure. It felt good knowing you were going to have company for the rest of the trip. Cove seemed to be thinking the same thing because his body seemed to relax then. Cove's grin twisted into a conspiratorial one. You both knew that you were going against whatever had really been planned for this outing, but luckily neither of you cared one bit at this point. I mean, it's just what happened. I mean, the both of them wanted to separate. Whatever, they're doing a test to see how quickly we would find each other again. Whatever. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came, if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff, even if I've gone past it. What have you gotten? Cove shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical things I can use pretty easily so far. Nothing super exciting. There are a few cucumbers, some lemons, some sweet potatoes, and among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. What Cove bought made sense, but it was far from a complete selection. You glanced around at the nearby stalls. Want to start over there? Cove followed your eyes. You pointed at one of the larger stores. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables. Yeah, let's go. Once a few people finished paying and moved, you and Cove got yourselves directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. Ooh, whoa! We want apples, we want peaches, we want strawberries, we want peppers. We call them no. Oh my god, fuck, oh no. I keep getting the names of cucumbers and capsicums mixed up. Whenever we have wraps for dinner, I keep saying, please pass the capsicum, and Dad's like, I'm sorry, capsicum, and I'm like, damn it, I meant cucumbers. Why did I say capsicum? And I just did it again, but in reverse. Give me the peppers. Tomatoes. Carrots. Potatoes. And I have spinach sometimes too, but I also like oranges. That'll do. A lot. I like the vegetables. Okay? The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you in a couple bags. Can we get some flowers? Whoa, these little ones over there look golden. Maybe they're just like oranges, but they look kind of glowy. I don't know. And these sweet potatoes look like they might just be photos. I mean, fair, I totally get it. But that's very funny to me. Anyway, the shop owner... I've already read that. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Yes, I am. Cove grinned, satisfied with his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded. Oh, wait, before we start moving on and everything, wanna hold hands? Oh, that is so cute. Yeah, okay. There was no way you could say no to that face. Delighted, you laced your fingers with his without hesitation. Cove squeezed your hand. God, your dumb face. Cove squeezed your hand back. With renewed eagerness, your boyfriend nodded his head in the direction you had been going towards. Okay, now let's go. Together, you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. I want to find, like a cupcake, good, or like maybe mochi, or milkshakes would be good also. Maybe a milkshake. Oh no, like one of those, like frozen, the shaved ice places. A snow cone. I want a snow cone. I haven't had a snow cone in years. I want a lime snow cone, please. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about all the various snow cones he had in mind. After a while, you had to go a greater snow cone to find something of snow. Several of the snow cones were selling the same snow cones. It was only a matter now of which snow cone you had on the brain in the moment. You continued ambling down the path until Cove stopped suddenly, literally pulling you over your thoughts. It's snow cones! Cove? You followed his eyeline past the crowds. Immediately he knew what grabbed him. Homemade snow cones and more snow cones. Homemade jams and local honey. Whoa, that's the face of a man who likes snow cones. That store was glittering with quaint glass jars stacked high, each encasing shells of varying colors. Stop the bit. It wasn't funny to begin with. Cove's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. Practically snow at the cone. His feet automatically began to take him there, likely without being fully aware he had made an unexpected... What if you put, like, chocolate syrup on a snow cone? Like, oh my god, you know the ice magic ones? When you put it on top and it goes hard? I used to just, like, eat that by itself. Or at least have like a little bit of ice cream, enough to make it go solid, and then just a heap of that stuff and eat it like it was chocolate. I mean, you get like a bar of chocolate, you know. Anyway, I feel like ice magic chocolate syrup on top of snow cone, revolutionary. When you got closer, you were surprised that there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. That's cool! Clove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clove... Oh my god, get both! Want some honey, honey? Do you want some honey, honey? He said just to tease him. I wonder, what on earth could you possibly want at this stall? Everything looks really... Is that... Wait, no, you gotta clarify, is that sarcastic or not? I don't know. Everything looks really good. You shook your head at him disapprovingly. You quietly left him to his dilemma. I've got a... Yes. You spoke without a hint of irony at the pet name. You thought it was sweet, and the smile I got from Cove made it even sweeter. He nodded. You thought things over for yourself too. Some of it wasn't vegan, but you could pick it up for the rest of your family to use. That's okay. I think I'm cool with honey. That's a conversation for another day. Oh, clover honey does sound nice. Orange blossom honey, spring wildflower honey, honey butter. Whoa. Strawberry jam, raspberry jam, blackberry jam, apricot jam, blueberry jam, plum jam, rhubarb jam. I'm not hugely keen on rhubarb. Mind you, I've only had it once and it was not good. And it could have not been the rhubarb. Clover honey sounds interesting. I think it's just because I like the word clover though. So maybe orange blossom, spring wildflower honey sounds nice. I think I might go with that. Oh, oh no, I can get more than one. I like raspberries. I like the sound of honey butter. And let's try the clover because I like the word. And that was everything. That was so many. I got like a few of them. You paid and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you. Thank you very much. Amused, she watched Cove give in and just buy. Yes, that was the correct choice. Buy both the clover honey and the blackberry jam. He also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. Nice. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove. Wait, I've got tea here, I forgot. Wait, let me have a sip. It's the perfect temperature. It's just green tea, but I like it. It'd be nice if I could put like some freaking clover honey in that one. That'd be nice. I should look into getting fancy jams and stuff. That sounds nice. Oh, so happy. Thank you. You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. I get it, man. Decisions are difficult. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. No. Sure. Sure, and I get it. Why do you think I got so many too? Good then. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand, and unexpected changes often upset him. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kinds of things with you. Oh. You blushed, thinking about how comfortable doing this with Cove felt. You were feeling the same as him. You were just feeling down about how the trip turned out? No, Cove's pleased attitude annoyed you. No. I think we were feeling the same. You weren't going to let what happened put a damper on this outing. I'm glad you're having a good time. We're so domestic. I kind of wonder what the others are doing right now. I'm glad you're having a good time. Cove chuckled. His gaze fell to his bags, and he was clearly thinking about all the treats he'd just bought. Are you having fun too? Yeah, I really am. It's been a good day. Later, when you spotted a less crowded area, you took a break from browsing. Yeah, I hope there are some benches around, because if you're walking around for hours, you'll be exhausted. Cove started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew on his face as he went on to the next. You chuckled, knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single doubt he was gonna eat it all. Gotta eat it all. Pokemon. Oh no! You held a hand in front of your face as you squinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been in the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now, and Cove looked to be doing fine too. But that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money, but it often was, mostly in money. Can you give me a piggyback ride? Why is this game so insistent on piggyback rides? So one of the developers of this must just be all about piggyback rides, and that's fair enough. But they've just never interested me. I guess I'm kind of reasonably tall. I'm like 5'8", so I've like never been given a piggyback ride before. But I think I would just feel bad, like making someone else carry me. I'd feel like I was being a burden, and that, no, I couldn't. Could you carry my things? No. Want me to carry your bags? Want a piggyback ride? You quietly. Yeah, I can offer to carry him some of his... I don't think I could carry him, but I can carry some of his stuff. Cove stared at you unsure, but you just held out a hand expectantly. You don't have to do that. I bought it, and besides, you're already carrying stuff. Who cares about that? I'm trying to do you a favor here. Oh, that's okay. He doesn't have to. Okay, you win. Or it's actually kind of a loss you're willing to take. No, it's a win. Thanks, Patch. Cove bundled up his bags into 2 groups and held them out for you to take. You accepted, but had temporarily put all the bags down on the ground. He chuckled, watching you shuffle the bags around, so each arm wasn't carrying too much. Thanks for doing this. Really, it's nice of you. No problem. Now I get to show off how strong I am. Standing up straight with the bags, you were all set to get going again. You grinned, happy to do this. Nice. And with that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Ma and Mum had both texted during the trip, though only to say that they hoped you'd found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There were no answers on where they went or why. Another tea break, sip. No, I spilled a bit of it. I got it on my cheese. No. Oh no. I drowned my sorrows in more tea. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market, the list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while about how is there possibly more stuff that we need to get? I have so many things already. I have so many, damn. Eventually Cove realized that he hadn't checked his own phone in a while. Oh no, they're dead. The 2 of you came to a stop at the nearest alcove where you'd be out of the steady stream of people pursuing the stores, and he pulled out his phone. They're dead, aren't they? This is where it turns into a horror game. Cove pulled out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important, I can reply to that later. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion. Oh, that's not a happy face. Wait, I've got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Patch's mom. Where are you? What? Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Patch's mom. Where are you? Is there a plan that he thinks Cove is in on but Cove isn't in on? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He sent another one since then. He says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The newest one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there. He lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. So it was on purpose. So they did purposefully leave us. Ooh. Strange. It's not one of our birthdays, is it? We just forgot. Is it Valentine's Day? Oh no, that's gonna be awkward. The crowd of people passing by stayed as noisy as ever, a sharp contrast to the silence that had fallen over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. There were full rocks on top of his phone. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained. The action a poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. Wow, it's a metaphor. You felt alright about it all. This whole mess was so upsetting to you. You were furious, you didn't care about what your moms had done, you were struggling to comprehend this. The shock was too fresh for you to even know how you felt. Well, it's like they're not going to be doing it to upset us. It's not like they were like, hey, you know what's gonna really screw over their day and make them feel just horrible? Let's abandon them in this fun and pleasant place where they're gonna have a great time. You didn't. It's not that I don't care about it. It's just like, what and why, I guess. Some of your parents' actions made more sense with this context, but the bigger question, that of why, was still weighing down on you. Okay then, fine. How are they going to explain this? I can't believe them. You sniffed. I'm not. Why would I cry? You groaned, the sound expressing your misery in ways that words couldn't. Wait, what did he say again? So it was on purpose. How are they going to explain this? He laid his hands on your shoulders, grounding you. Cove's a frown grew taut, his mouth a stiff, serious line, but his eyes wide with concern. What? It's not that... Yeah, I guess they kind of did say... Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, they kind of did phrase it as, hey, we're going to have a nice family day out, and then abandoned me, and that does kind of suck. Actually, no, I am a little bit upset now. I'm sorry about your mums, leaving you all alone out here like this without warning. His speech was slower than usual. You suspected that he was choosing each word carefully. It was unnatural, but you appreciated that he didn't want to risk upsetting you further. I don't know if you want to talk to them about this, but I can definitely back you up. I totally get that it's sucky. Yeah, we can vent a little. I didn't want things to be like this. But they didn't even talk about it. I didn't get a chance to say anything. Cove listened, nodding gently as you unburdened yourself. You then drew a deep breath, the fresh air steadying you. You didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove watched over you, still concerned. Like, it's nice hanging out with him and everything, but when you've, like, gone into it with the expectation that you're going to be hanging out with your family and then they abandon you purposefully as well, that's just kind of... that sucks. I'm sorry. Even though I guess it's not exactly my fault this time, but is there anything I can do to make you feel better? Even a little bit? Eat this fudge with me? You already have. You're not the one who can make this better. Ooh, shook your head. Hey, aren't I the one who's supposed to help you with your parents? What? Can I have a hug? Oh, you already have, I think. I did? Yeah, you really did. Cove nodded in understanding. He smiled, a simple, open and honest smile, and you knew that he'd accepted your answer. Yeah, I mean, hanging out. Like, we got to hang out in the end, and that was nice. A nice alternative. After a moment, he stepped further away from you, face turned. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath, his brow creased, then furrowed deeper into a scowl, his arms tightly coiling together. So, they did do something stupid. I knew it. His voice had taken on an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was the abundance of rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyway? I hate them. Okay, well, okay. A little bit further on the other extreme now. Yeah, okay. Oh, I guess. Okay, I get it. Okay, it's a joke. I'm sorry. I don't get jokes. You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bald card had been in town for the summer, but Cope had never forgotten. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Okay, great. Sometimes you wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid really was always that ridiculous. You burst out laughing, you shook your head at Cove's silliness, you played along, you smiled quietly. That kid is never gonna live that down, huh? You said, I'll play along. Wow, what is wrong with you? I'm not wrong, actually. If you are as smart as me, you'd know that. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably go meet up with the group. Yeah. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. Quick tea break. Sip, sip. No spilling this time. Wow, wow, look at that. It's the same car park that the crepe place is in. What a coincidence. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good moods, in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Coe with open concern as you got closer. Hey bud, hey Patch, how are you going? We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in a farmer's market by our families. Whew. You saw your mum's frowning at his response, smile glancing from Cove to Mum with blinking eyes. Just because Patch tries to make things a good time no matter what, doesn't mean you can just leave them out of your plans and expect them to go with it every time. Oh, so it was just that the adults like abandoned us because they didn't want to be around us? Wow, that fucking sucks. What? Am I reading that wrong? Ma hung her head, ashamed, and Mama had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell that they were quickly regretting their scheme. Yeah, so they... Whoa. Whoa, oh dang, I was trying to justify what you did and you actually just sucked. Wow. I'm so sorry, Patch. Her words were full of emotion. Mum squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. What? But... What? How? By leaving us? Ma nodded. We didn't think Cove and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day. Oh, we didn't think you, Cove and Liz, yeah. Especially not in the summer. Well, you could, hey, you know what you do in that situation is then, is go, hey, well, why don't we go get the groceries and stuff, and you guys just go wander off and look for your own stuff and have some fun, hey? So this doesn't feel like a chore for you. You communicate what you're planning to do rather than making us feel just fully abandoned. Okay, well, But you're always very thoughtful and don't like to leave your mums behind, so we did ourselves. I was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise. Other stops? What other stops? Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. I'm really sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you. All gas, no brakes. We should have known better. Sorry. Ma ditched me too, after pulling an urgent potty break stunt, if that helps. I went off to do some of my own shopping, as it seems they planned. Sorry I didn't check back with you. I wasn't thinking, I just tried to blow it off. I get it. You quietly took in their stories of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me. Oh, I see. Thanks for telling me something was up, though I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it. It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. He's growing! Yes, we love to see it. Becoming better parents. I love it. It's a journey. Yes. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back. Ow. Wow. We're really being outplayed today. You realized you hadn't been the only onlookers to the Holders' moment. Your mums were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently watching it all unfold. Yeah, looks like it. You better find some way to catch up. What, like bribery? Just don't do it again. Maybe we can do Petra's chores for the next week? How about you don't manipulate me? Mum jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something. Patch, how do you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. Touch. Sounds good to me. Make it 2 weeks. You're gonna have to do more than that. I'll think about it. You don't have to do anything. I'll think about it. Good. We're serious. Come on. At the very least, we can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. You all nodded at the suggestion. We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays. It's not about staying in a group. It's about communicating when you need time alone, so the other person doesn't feel like they've, done something wrong, or been, or that people just don't want to hang out with them, or whatever, you know? Communication. Tell people how you're feeling. We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your mood lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It looks like it's afternoon. It's like almost nighttime. It was going to be all right. You turned to the entrance of the farmers' markets for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under this new light. You thought on what you'd picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from the local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along to the market today. Actually, you realized this would be a good time to bring out the fudge you got to share while everyone was clustered together. Yay! Your attention, please. I have something for you all. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest and they looked over at you, each curious about what you had in store. You dug your hand into the bag and pulled out the specially selected treat. There was this great fudge stall and, being so kind and generous, I got a box for us all to try. Oh, that's so sweet of you. The Holdens were wearing matching grins at the prospect of free dessert. Their family resemblance more notable as they mirrored each other's expression. Yeah, I guess I can see it. Yeah. Sweet is the right word for this. Thanks very much, Patch. Yeah, thank you. Great! I can't wait to bust it open. There are only 4 pieces. How big are they? We should save it for tonight. You can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Well, I had the same message to me right before I had that chocolate chip ice cream for lunch. It wasn't for lunch. It was because I had samosas for lunch and they were spicy and I thought, you know what's good for spice? Ice cream. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it melting in this heat. The others murmured their agreements and nodded, reaching a consensus. You stowed the box away safely for now. Cove then sidled up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. What? It was already later. Later was earlier. Thanks again for getting fudge. It was really cool of you. You knew he hadn't come over just to thank you individually, not with that huge smirk. I got something to share too, but only really with you. I guess I'm not as nice. Oh well. You've been plotting your own scheme. He laughed. Anyway, well, I sort of picked something out with you in mind. Aw, you held a hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further. Since your mums decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something. Just a little surprise. He reached into one of his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted the unexpected present and he looked on excitedly as you tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of... Fuck, dude, I love apple juice. I freaking love apple juice, dude. I had apple juice on Monday because I had uni and I got there and then it was my break between lectures and I was like, whoops, I didn't bring any food with me. I guess I'd better go to one of the restaurants or the cafes around, and all of the all of the restaurants on campus are shut at the moment except for freaking Subway, and I'm not gonna get a Subway. The Subway there sucks. And also there were like 20 people in line and I'm like, I'm not gonna wait in line after 20 people for sucky Subway. But then the cafe was also shut. Actually, no, the cafe was open, but I had lots of people waiting around. It was just like, what am I gonna order? Like a chai latte and some food. I don't feel like a chai latte, and I don't want to wait around for food. So I just went to the convenience store, and I got some salted cashews because I love cashews, and I got some Oreos, which was great because then I could snack on them over the last few days. And I got some freaking apple juice because usually I'd get iced tea, but I've had too much iced tea lately, so I thought, well, let's get some apple juice, and it was great. I freaking love apple juice. Dude, apple juice. Anytime. Yes. Anyway, thank you, Cove. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice, because it's freaking apple juice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in your hands, the container and smart metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the label, constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. You were practically bouncing in anticipation, and he smiled sweetly at your reaction. How did they know? I love apple juice. It's not a big deal, but I just thought you might like it. You're freaking right, dude. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. You're so wonderful. You smiled at him. You're always getting me nice things. You shook your head at his antics. Thank you. Thank you. We say thank you when people do nice things for us. You were touched that Cove wanted to treat you to something nice. Whether you were physically together or not, you were clearly always on his mind and in his heart. Oh, suddenly Liz. Liz clapped her hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. She'd be a good teacher, I can see it. She's got a bit of like some cool teacher energy. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. Ma laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mum hung her head in an exaggerated display of mock defeat. Kids are tough. I can't even call them kids anymore. Yeah, I'm freaking 18, dude. Liz tut-tutted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. Sorry, that time has expired. You grinned, letting them know that you're at least partly joking, though really you and Cove and Liz could hardly be called kids these days. You were glad that everyone was getting along. Yeah, Liz is like 21, isn't she? With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. You figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. After buckling in, Cove leaned back in his seat, letting himself be cushioned by the headrest. Once he'd shifted a little, he appeared to have found the perfect angle for maximum comfort. He gazed out of the window, looking suitably content with the world. You followed suit, hunkering down in your seat and looking out of the window as the car pulled away from the lot. Ooh, whoa, why did this one suddenly go like high res? What? Did something change, or am I just actually looking at it for the first time? This is weird. Was I not wearing my glasses the rest of the time? You knew Cove was well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. Oh, well, you knew Cove. Did I read that? Oh, no, whatever. The way he would fall quiet, staring without seeing, the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. You dissociating, bud? Yeah, I get it. You closed your eyes as you pulled up the resolve to speak. You waggled your eyebrows at him jokingly. So, what were you so lost in thought about? Well... Look at his face. Well, I was just thinking about how nice you are. Oh, how nice I am. Yeah. His face grew redder. Your dad's in the front seat, dude. This is weird. His face grew redder as his hands clenched around the top of his knees. You stared at him, hoping for an explanation, but Cove simply ducked his head. When he next spoke, his voice was barely more than a whisper. I'm lucky I get to be with you. Oh. I cry. Is the cry an option? That's so sweet. I feel lucky too. You laughed happily. You blushed. His words stunned you. See, because all the blushing and stuff is cute, but I think it's good to verbally communicate your reciprocation, because I don't want things to be misconstrued, you know? No, I don't want to laugh. That could be misconstrued. I'm going to say I feel lucky too. He peeked at you from the corner of his eyes, still too shy to look at you directly. You smiled at him affectionately, eliciting an equally caring smile from Cove in return. You felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. Oh, decided to enjoy your drink now. We'll save it for later. It was clearly special. You intended to make sure you gave it the attention it deserved, yeah. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You enjoyed your brief independence. You were glad that you closed the day with everyone. I think we enjoy our brief. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's good to have those experiences. It might not have come about under ideal circumstances, but it provided you with an opportunity to spend time making your own choices. You felt that you'd risen to the challenge. Oh, that one was nice. It was, well, actually, I did get a little pissed at one point there. Fairly. It was warranted. Warranted piss. Oh, cut. That's where we're ending it. Thank you for hanging out with me, everyone. We'll move on to talks next time. Should be interesting. Then, yeah, wow, only 3 to go. Wild. Wonder if there's going to be some kind of big conclusion story thing. And then there's the DLC. Oh my gosh, I might save the DLC for a bit later so I can have a break, play some other games, but definitely playing the DLC at some point because, wow, I keep freaking out whenever I see the pictures of it on Steam. Oh my god, I could cry. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Bye.